What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Gab, Lim, and Mr. Maui Up. What's up, guys?
I just have to commend our friend Maui Up for being very in demand and representing Boleros on multiple podcasts in the past week. Grabe, yung kahit walang Boleros episode, si Maui nag-appear
Active.
sa other channels eh. Grabe yung
Tawag
representation
dyan,
ng Boleros.
tawag dyan excitement para sa UAAP Season 88, di ba? Matagal-tagal natin.
Na.
Yung baka dumami yung mga admirers mo, Maui.
Oh, nga. If you read the comment section, you know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking about.
Shout out na lang, shout out.
Shout out na lang. Wow, may pa-shout out pa. Okay, today we're going to do our way too early predictions for the UAAP Season 88 awards. I think we did a similar preview last year.
We've done
the past
this
few
every
seasons.
season.
Yeah,
We've done
the
this
past
every
few
season.
seasons. So, this is part of our tradition. So, let's get started. Medyo marami tayong pag-uusapan. Start na ba natin? The big award? Sige, let's go with
The
MVP.
Boleros, the season.
Actually. Oo nga, no? Hindi. Wag naman. Masyadong nega.
Ballers,
Masyadong
ballers.
nega.
Ballers,
The
ballers,
baller of
ballers.
the season, aka the MVP. Who do you have?
So just to have a disclaimer, we're not going by the UAAP's rule that we're excluding FSAs from the MVP. This is the Boleros MVP of the season. Not the UAAP. We're including FSAs. We don't care about the best FSA award. I am forever not caring about the MVP award of the UAAP until they include FSAs again. So I'm going to go first. My pick for the MVP, I think it's going to be di naman malayo, pero siguro a convincing win by Mike Phillips of the De La Salle Green Archers as MVP. I think he has everything going for him. Minutes, he's gonna get a ton of them. Narrative, he has all the narrative he needs. This is La Salle's supposed bounce back season against whoever they face in the final. So if it's UP, it's gonna be a much better narrative. He has that. He's now the top A, the 1A siguro, next to the 1B and 1C of Baclan and Cortez. So the 1A, right after the departure of Kevin Kiambao. He was up there competing against Kevin Kiambao for MVP last season.
Number two.
Yep. And a close number two, actually. It was a close number two to Kevin
Not something
Kiambao.
not expected.
Yeah, so something we didn't expect because again, it's I wonder if the computation is still the same for MVP. You given they've excluded FSAs, diba? Diba? I think that's a question we have to ask. I think
That's a
something-
good question. That's
Diba?
a good question.
Since we're no longer counting majority of the big men in the league, I do suppose we're going back to the old computation where assists and steals count the same as the other stats. So with that being my expectation, I do think Mike Phillips has enough. He's gonna grab a ton of rebounds, block a ton of shots. He's gonna get steals because he's a crazy active defender and he's the head of the press sometimes for La Salle. He's the one pressuring the ball handler sometimes. Very disruptive on the defensive end. Now some people have argued that with Cortez and Baclaan there's not going to be enough playmaking for Mike Phillips. I think there's still going to be enough. Now he's probably not going to score as much. I do agree there. Again, there are a lot more mouths to feed in La Salle, but I do think he will get enough scoring opportunities. He'll get a lot more easy baskets because he's playing with the likes of Baclaan and Cortez, who can drive to the basket and create for him. He just has to wait the dunker spot or roll or just flash to the middle and just do what he does best, grab offensive rebounds, and he'll get his numbers. I do think Mike Phillips is the favorite, the preemptive favorite. I think he's been the favorite now for months, ever since we put up a near 40-20 against the Ateneo Blue Eagles in Asia Basket. I think he's been our favorite. So give me Mike Phillips. And we're big fans of Motor Mike, despite him being from LaSalle, from the rival school. I think this is his year, his final year to get that MVP. Maui Sam, I find it hard that you will disagree with my pick of Mike Phillips.
100% disagree. Hindi, joke lang. Agree. But Maui first.
Actually, kung kasama FSAs, baka si Mo Konate. Diba? If he plays 40 minutes a game, could probably block a ton of shots, get 15 rebounds, score 14 to 16
I'm
points.
just not sure he's gonna get the amount of wins necessary. I think wins count for something, diba?
Yes, wins count for something. So that could probably be the one that if we are going by the old competition and if FSAs were included, yun siguro ang main stat point that would derail his chances. Similar to how si Momoway has struggled to put up. Although he's been disqualified pala also the past 2 seasons. Something I hope doesn't happen to Momoway this season, especially the challenging times. But yeah, I agree. Si Mike Phillips is probably the guy to pick. Just because he can put up all the stats. I think the only stat that he'll probably not put up that much is 3 points made. Free throws made for sure, free throws attempted for sure lahat. I think si Mike Phillips will definitely be the favorite to land. If I were to pick maybe another local, si Portsky sana, but I think he's disqualified.
Disqualified
for the MVP
diba?
because of
Kasi
the
suspended
suspension.
na.
If I'm not mistaken.
Though. That's crazy.
Kasi
Yeah.
technically yung
The ejection
suspension was
happened
from last year.
season.
That's a
Yeah.
good question. Okay.
So-
I mean, that's a good point. Anyway, Maui.
So I hope it doesn't get disqualified, but based on my understanding of the UAAP rules, Sportsky is disqualified for any end of season awards for next year. But he's probably the guy closest, diba? Kasi he was also the guy closest to the FSAs before. That's because he racks up a ton of steals, he racks up a ton of assists. Si Kagulangan was another guy who was, I think, in consideration before nung end the first round, I think. But generally speaking, if the UAAP does not change the rule, it's probably going to be a guard who's going to be near Phillips. But despite it all, I think even if they change the rules, much like KQ, Phillips will be raising that MVP trophy at the end of the season, barring any catastrophic losses or injuries, which I hope doesn't happen to LaSalle.
I agree. So Mike Phillips, I think, is the obvious answer. I'm surprised Maui picked Mo Kaunate. He was going to be my swerve pick kung hindi natin if ika-count natin yung FSAs as part of the MVP. Do you guys think like one of the guards from LaSalle could also make it? Baklaan or Jacob Cortez? May chance ba?
I think Jacob.
Jacob
I think-
probably, right? Out of the two.
I think Jacob is more of the distributor and the playmaker among between the two of them, Baklaan and Cortez. Baklaan, from the way they played in the preseason, is more of a scoring guard. So he comes off the bench and he's relied upon by Coach Topex to just freaking score the basketball. So I don't think he's going to rack up the other stats well. But ask me if I'm going to pick a dark horse for MVP, I'm going to go with Nick Cabanero of UST.
So
Top
I was
scorer.
going to say that if you ask me sa UST hindi si Fortsky yung first pick ko din, si Nick. And actually I checked, si Nick was the highest ranked UST player in terms of statistical points last season. Close sila, actually magkakasunod sila. Nick, Mo Tongkara, and then it was Fortsky. So yeah, go Gab.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nick has the narrative also. Again, this is the Boleros MVP. We want to count narrative. We want to count that because it's an important thing. You know, if you look for MVP, you can't have the MVP coming from a 0-14 team or something. Diba? That it doesn't make sense. Narrative counts. You know, storyline counts. So I think Nick has all the storyline. Remember, Nick Cabanero came from a 1-13 UST team. He's experienced it all in UST, from huge disappointments, then to a comeback season, entering the Final Four. Now it's his last year, and he has all the opportunity in a high-powered UST offense to put up a ton of numbers. He's gonna score a lot. He has a lot of playmaking opportunities. So I think if there's anyone who's gonna be close to Mike Phillips, it's gonna be Nick Cabanero of the USC Growling Tigers. Plus,
Kapag
they
UST
have a ton
number
of
one
home
seed,
games. They have a ton of home
kapag
games.
UST number one seed, bigay mo na kay Nick.
Oh, actually Maui, kung mag top 2 ng UST, I think you have to give Nick Cabanero the MVP. And I said, home games. they have a ton of home games. I think nearly every games that we know of is going to be in UST QPAV.
So first round, yeah. Good point. Yeah, I agree. See, if ever there was another LaSalle player, I would also say Jacob Cortez. I also brought that up because last year top 2 was KQ and Mike Phillips. This year it could also be 2 LaSalle players. I think Jacob Cortez has a fighting chance to get the MVP. So that would be interesting na mag top 2 ulit dalawang LaSalle players. But I had Mo Konate. I think especially now that they don't have VJ Pre, Mo Konate already led his team in minutes, in points, in rebounds, in blocks
Mapipiga.
last season. Oo, pigang-piga na nga siya last season. Lalo pa siyang mapipiga this season. I think even during the preseason, if you check the Phil Oil stats, leader siya in almost all the stats of FEU. Last year, I think we talked about Precious Momoway nung preseason na parang this guy is going to play every single minute. I think this season,
Bus.
Mo Konate is going to... That's true. This season, I think Mo Konate is going to play every single minute also. So, I think if hindi hiniwala yung FSAs from the MVP voting, I think Mo Konate has a strong chance. He was number 4 last season, only behind the
If
two
he
LaSalle guys and
if FEU
JD.
makes it to the Final Four, Sammy, I'm willing to give the MVP to Mo Konate. Heck,
Pwede. Bigay mo
I've
na.
been a critic of like Solomon Sabio getting the MVP over Ange Kwame because Ateneo swept the elimination round, but FEU who just lost VJ Pre was not being counted on to actually win a ton of games, and if Mo Konate can carry FEU to the Final Four, I'm willing to turn around and say na, hey, I'm gonna give the MVP to Mo Konate because that is an improbable run if ever he's able to do it, because he's gonna be the main carry. He's gonna be the carry hero of for those who play Dota.
Parang Dota.
He's gonna carry this team. If you've watched them at all in the preseason, he's the guy. He's the guy. It's not Jorik, it's not Jande, it's Mo Konate.
Okay. That's our picks for MVP. Moving on, let's talk about Rookie of the Year. And I'm curious where you guys are going here. Feel ko unanimous, but let's see, ha? So, maybe we can start with you, Maui, this time.
Well, based on what I've watched the preseason, I think the most surprising rookie, and I think the one that will win Rookie of the Year, is definitely si Medina from Adamson. He doesn't look like a rookie. And if Adamson were to rack up some wins and hopefully they don't end up in the play-in, let's call it the play-in kasi parang NBA terms, and Adamson has been known to be part of the play-in. If they make the Final Four, I would think that he'd probably get it. And I think sa comment section natin, somebody was saying baka si Tebol Garcia nagsisi na because of the exposure that Medina is getting. And I think Medina did the right thing. Diba? Medina did the right thing staying in Adamson. He's gonna get a ton of run. I think them losing Competente gets him more minutes, gets him more shots. And I've loved yung aggressiveness so far sa preseason. He hasn't looked phased by the college game. And I did not expect him to be this good this early. Maybe it usually takes time, especially for point guards and shooting guards, diba, in the UAAP. Ang usually easier transition ay yung big man who have good physique, and guards usually take a longer time because they struggle with the physicality, they struggle with ball pressure, and si Medina has been impressive. And I think it's the reason why Adamson has also surprised a lot this preseason. Why they've racked up championship, they've racked up
Just
wins against
recently won the
UAAP
Pinoy
teams.
Liga, the big dance.
The Big Dance champions, Adamson Soaring Falcons.
So I don't know if that's a positive or a negative for Adamson and heading into this season. They were dark horses before, but I think teams are more will expect and will already have an idea of what to expect. Although it's been kind of the same for Adamson. Keep the score low, we win this game. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Medina. We haven't seen maybe the last time we've seen a good guard from a really good wing player from Adamson was probably Jericho Cruz, or you could probably see si Kabahug pa from before, diba? Who really had a lot of
Grabe,
promise.
throwback yung kabahog.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for Adamson. Diba? They get a young prospect after losing so many young prospects the previous offseason. And I think sky's the limit. And hopefully he stays in Adamson.
Yeah, I agree.
Please stay. Please stay.
Please stay, Earl Medina. But I do agree. I had Earl Medina as my Rookie of the Year pick. So, well, based on your reaction, Gab, you have someone else. Inisip ko lang kasi it's also the playing time of Earl Medina. Wide open nga yung opportunity. Not just with the loss of Competente, but si Royce Mantua din, diba? Like, we were expecting him to come back, pero nag-pro siya. So, I think wide open for Earl Medina to get all that minutes. And so far, in the preseason, he has shown Coach Nash na he deserves those minutes. Yeah. Gab, who are you going with for Rookie of
I
the
can't
Year?
believe no one. It's Rookie of the
Adili
Year.
or Akowe.
Ako it's only between Divine Adili and Collins.
Kasama pa ba
Oh,
FSAs?
yeah.
Yun ang tanong, kasama pa ba ang FSA
Hindi.
as Rookie of the Year?
Maui, we're not racist here.
Oh, yeah.
We are counting FSAs as part of the Rookie of the Year. And Divine Adili and Collins Akowe are true rookies. They qualify. As for UAAP rules, unless it's changed again, they qualify as rookies. So I'm giving it. This is a hard choice between Collins Akowe and Divine Adili, but I'm giving it to Divine Adili. One, I think he has a more polished offensive game than Collins Akowe. Has shown he can hit the mid-range, has better post moves than Collins Akowe. And two, I think he's being given a lot more playmaking opportunities by Coach Tab, especially at the high post, especially in the low post. The two-man game between him and Kimani Ladi, we've seen it in the preseason. So he's gonna rack up those assists. He probably not gonna get a ton of blocks. He's not much of a defensive player. Still very raw on defense. Foul trouble is gonna be a problem for him. I do foresee. But in terms of racking up rebounds, points, a trickle of assists, some steals. He does have good hands in the passing lane, and so I'm gonna go with Divine Adili of Ateneo. A bit undersized compared to the other FSAs. To be honest, he's listed as 6'10", but to be honest,
Hell no.
He's
Hell
not 6'10". He's less.
6'10" with heels.
Yeah, I'm definitely going
Balogun
with
6'10"?
No, definitely not. Yeah, but I'm going with Divine Adili of Ateneo. I think it's going to be a close race between him and Collins Akowe. Earl Medina, with the departure of Competente, maybe he'll get more playmaking opportunities. The problem is he does not playmake at all so far in Adams' offense. Mostly a catch and shoot guy. Does not run a ton of offense. Mostly si Montebon and si Erolon, and formerly si Competente. So maybe Coach Nash will funnel some offense to Earl Medina. We don't know yet. But to me, it's obviously Adili or Akowe. Sammy, reactions?
I'll react first, Sam, before you. Ako rin, if I were to choose, I'd probably choose si Adili over Akowe. I think it will all boil down to one thing you said. I think yung foul trouble. We've seen Adili become super effective if he doesn't get into foul trouble. But we've seen Adili play 9 minutes against Mike Phillips during Asia Basket. So I think that's been a recurring problem for him, adjusting to maybe the pace and physicality ng UAAP seniors basketball. I think could potentially also face the same problem once the season starts. But uh, he's looked better on defense. But with the way that UST runs its offense, I think most of its baskets are probably going to be put back baskets of offensive rebounds. While Ateneo, on the other hand, as you mentioned, Gab usually runs plays for Adili off the high post and off the post. So definitely, I think the success of Ateneo will also boil down to how effective they can utilize Divine Adili in year one. I think that's how important I believe yung ano talaga big man center let's say center dahil lang kay Mike Phillips, but really the FSA slot in the UAAP. Sam.
Yeah, actually hindi ko naisip si Adili. I did think about Akowe. I thought Akowe was going to be the unanimous one. I want to give Earl Medina his flowers. He was my swerve pick. But yeah, I guess may point kayo na if you had to pick, honestly hindi ko naisip si Adili. But if you had to pick between Akowe and Adili, yeah, probably Adili. Mas polished offensively. I think Akowe is also a bit too slow for the type of offense na gusto ni Coach Pido, how they run things. So I sort of see him like not being part of that offense or not being as involved in that offense. Maybe talagang rebound. They just really need Akowe to rebound and contest shots because that was parang what they were missing before Akowe came in. If you think about like UST right now, wala silang ibang other big man. So probably Akowe will just focus on that. Like
Actually, as a slight honorable mention, possibly can sneak in there. Si Koji by the floor, I think he's their only backup big other than
oo
Michael
nga
Alfred.
pala. Yeah,
So
that's true.
maybe si
He
Koji
is a big.
can put up no, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be between Akowe and Adili, unless the UAP does something crazy. I mean, who knows?
You never know.
Next award.
I think that's a good four. Adili, Akowe, Buenaflor, Earl Medina. Okay, moving on. Let's do breakout player. Sino ang breakout player of the year nyo? Gab. So pwede
So,
tong parang most improved or someone that surprises, di ba?
I don't think he's gonna surprise us anymore. I think we've talked about him before. Sean Toano of Ateneo, I think is gonna be the most improved player because yes, he got some minutes last season, but he was spotty minutes. You know, the free throw difficulties were documented. He's now gonna be one of the main scoring options for the Blue Eagles, especially at the wing. Minutes are there to be taken. They lost Kiteves and Kuhn, their starting wings. So Sean Toano, I think, has all the runway to get the numbers he needs to elevate himself into star status. You could also say to Jella Chrysostom. I think Jella Chrysostom averaged more minutes, points, and rebounds than Sean Toano. And plus, I do think it's his numbers are not gonna be 20 points per game like in the preseason because I think a lot more. USC was not playing the usual minutes of Cabanero and Padrigao. And actually, Cabanero was not playing for majority of Phil Oil. So kaya rin nakaput up ng sobrang daming numbers si Jello Chrysostom mo. But I think si Sean Toano, I think siya ang main beneficiary for the number of for the number of departures that the Blue Eagles had. And when it's the end of the shot clock, it's usually him or Jared Bahay who makes plays. So magtitiwala ako kay Sean. I think he's put in the work. We've seen an improved shooting form. So give me Sean Toano as most improved breakout player for UAP season 88.
I think yung maganda kay Sean din is nakita na natin how good he was last season. Medyo may preview na of it, 'di ba? And then this off season, he's gotten even better. You guys pointed out yung improved shot, especially sa 3 points. So there's really like an opportunity for him to break out on top of like all the departures that Ateneo had. So yeah, that's a good pick. I like that. Maui.
Over-under muna, Gab. 70% free throw shooting. Kito ano.
May tiwala ako sa work yung dati put in Maui. I'm saying over 70%.
Let's
Yan.
Let's
go.
go.
Yan.
Over. Let's go, Sean.
Yan.
Prove me right, please.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, actually maganda yung leap ni Sean diba? From year one. I think he was just technically a cheerleader. I think yun yung main highlight niya from year one, diba?
The guy
You
that
always
Gab
have
cut.
something else.
The guy
Sige,
that
go.
Gab cut.
Diba ganun ka laking jump ang year 1 to year 2 ni Sean Tuano, and to be honest, if wala akong PTSD with naming Chris Kuhn as the next great eagle, I'd probably say Sean Tuano has a chance to be the next great eagle. I don't want to be disappointed twice sa wing players na
Makers
Ateneo.
Kamau.
Baka ma-curse natin si Sean and we were able to meet yung parents ang bait. So I will wait for the day. And when I'm ready to name him, I will name him. But I will not front run Sean Tuano. Yeah, I think si Gab got it. Those were the two names I've been thinking. But you have to wait and see kay Tuano. I don't know. Kasi biglang lumalim ang wing rotation natin Neo. We've been hearing so many things about Dominic Escobar, and there are only so many minutes you can give to wing players. I don't know if Escobar will play a lot of 4. That could open up some minutes for him, for Bogo and Tuano. But let's see. Coach Tab usually employs 3 and D for shooting guard slot. But Ateneo, I don't think has that great shooter and great defender at the same time. They haven't had that maybe since BJ Andrade. So let's see. Baka si Tuano will start at the 2. We'll know probably opening night, and usually the starting lineup of Coach Tab is the starting lineup for the whole season. So that will dictate siguro how consistent his minutes will be. But I would say si Crisostomo is probably the easier pick for me. Maybe the more flashy one because we really saw an improvement. I like how he has transitioned. Mukhang he has fully transitioned to the wing. And a lot of the big men, a lot of the lanky big men who has the potential like Buenaflor and maybe sila Palanca, maybe sila LeBron James Daep could probably look at his game. Kasi when he entered the UAAP, he was basically just an energy guy who was rebounding, getting drop passes, slashing to the basket. Now he has a 3-point shot. Now he can drive to the basket. I think the development ni Jello Crisostomo has to be looked at also and has to be followed by some of the big men that want to transition to the wing slot. I think yung ano kasi yung formula used to be only with Lasal, di ba? With Kevin Cambao, but now we see a Jero Crisostomo. So it looks like it's replicable. 1 or 2 off seasons that you really put the hard work in and you can fully transition to the wing. And these types of news excite me. Kasi we want to see 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" wing players for Gilas Pilipinas, and I think si Jalen Crisostomo and Kevin Cambao has proven that it's possible to become a center at the start of UAAP career and eventually transition to the wing slot and not take the whole 5 years. Diba? Kasi it usually takes them the whole 5 years. They usually start to transition only when they get to the pros. Now it's different. Diba? They start transitioning even when they're in the UAAP. So, I'm excited. Alam naman nyo ako, pag UST wing player, hyped ako.
Pareho kayo ni Coach Pido.
Dahil yan sa FSAs, FYI, Kirito Henson.
Na-mention na naman yun. Yeah, I had Jello Crisostomo as my pick. Sean Tuano is a good, I think, also a good choice. Since na-mention na silang dalawa, I'll give me medyo nag-breakout na siya before last year, I would say. But give me a PJ Palacielo. Yo boy, PJ Palacielo. I
Wow, I
would
can't believe
say
ikaw yung namimili kay PJ for the past 2
hindi mo pinipili
episodes.
eh.
Sumakay na siya! Sumakay na
Sumakay
sa
na ako
jeep,
sa
Gab!
PJ train.
Sumakay
I'm
na ng
voting
jeep!
him.
Nandun na, yung
sa jeep. Oh.
nakakapit na. Nakakapit na sa may pinto, sa may pasukan ng jeep.
Hindi na ako nakasabit eh. Nasa loob na ako actually. But I'm voting him for the SEA Games. I'm voting him as one of my breakout players. Why? I think last year he sort of broke out. He was like a top scorer in some games. Pero in other games, he was a non-factor. And one of the main reasons why was because he fouled out a lot. Or he was always in foul trouble because he was
Pwede ng
playing out of
4!
position. Exactly. So now with the return of Omar John, I think he can slot back into the 4 position where he can dominate other 4s. Like he has a chance to dominate
And the
other
departure
4s.
of Palangka. Because si Palangka was supposed to be the 4 behind Padrones.
The 4.
So, nawala
Yeah,
silang
that's
backup
true.
power forward.
Wala na silang backup, 'di ba? So, he could slide into the 4, sometimes play small ball 5, but mas pasok na siya dun sa natural position niya. He doesn't have to be the main big that's defending the other, like the Mike Phillips or the other FSAs. I don't think he's going to get into as much foul trouble as he did last year. Omar John will make this guy's life a lot easier. Cross your fingers na lang na walang mangyari kay Omar John because Modi Sana got injured game 1 of last season. So, if they're all healthy, give me a breakout season for PJ Palacielo.
And don't forget, they have another center in Jedrick Solomon who can back up Omar John. So I think that helps. But Sam, I can't believe you called PJ Palacielo a small ball center.
Small
He's
ball.
huge!
Small ball. I mean, 4 kasi yung
He's
natural
huge!
polarization niya. 4 or 5. Okay, fine.
Sam, I think I told you this in yung during March when I watched Acer Basket. I was there courtside and I looked at PJ.
Ang laki niya. Ang laki
Oh
niya.
my God, he's huge.
I think we were together.
humongous.
Nanonood tayong NU versus
Oo.
USC. Tapos parang, ang laki pala ni PJ Palacielo, no?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
I remember
huge,
that.
man.
I remember that
And
discussion.
I don't think anyone would describe PJ Palacielo as a small ball center. And plus,
That's
he
a good
bullies
point.
people in the
That's a
paint.
good point.
That's
That's a
how
good
huge he is. He's so unstoppable when he gets into the paint. Si Gani Stevens, tumatalsik na kay PJ Palacielo. Diba? That's how strong
Gani is a
this
big
guy
boy.
Is. No. Mason Amos, diba, when he was on this show, said his welcome to the UAP moment was matching up with PJ Palacielo because, oh damn, this boy's strong.
Oo nga. I forgot
Diba?
about that. He did mention that. Wow. Good call
But I
back.
like
Shout
the
out to
PJ
Mason
pick,
Amos.
Sammy, because from the off-season, Coach Jeff Napa runs a lot of offense through PJ. Yeah, as in, siguro around 60 to 70% of their offense goes through PJ Palacielo. Especially when si Figueroa was not in the game. They give it to PJ in the post. They run a ton of action through PJ. So, I like that pick. And, I'm a PJ homer. I've been cheering for him since season 85. So, yeah let's go. My
Daho
island
pa sa
looks-
akin! Daho pa sa akin si Palacielo, nag-chill si Gab.
Oo nga. Okay, moving on. Let's go to Coach of the Year. Okay, so Coach of the Year. Sino ang magiging Coach of the Year this season 88? Gab, let's start with you.
Shit. I think now you have to classify me as a homer because I'm for the third straight award. I'm picking from Ateneo. I think it's Coach Tab Baldwin. So I pick Adil, I pick Tawayo. I'm picking Coach Tab.
Nowhere to
Oo
go
nga,
back up eh. Nowhere to go back up.
Exactly, Maui. Exactly. Usually, diba? Now let me set the context. You give the Coach of the Year to coaches whose teams outperform expectations, and diba, you don't give it to a coach whose team is already so strong, diba? So, yung projected number 1, that's kung number 1 you give Coach of the Year, diba? That usually does not happen. So it usually to what you give it to a coach who's coached a team that has outperformed. And Coach Tab came from a season wherein they won 4 games and were last place. And this is the season that he has new players. He has a legit center, a front court rotation, a front court that's actually big. It's not anymore a 6'4" Christian Porter, yung manning at center, and he who must not be named coming off the bench, and sometimes yung unplayable. So I think he has more tools. He has a more experienced group. Sana a more improved group, a better equipped group. Uh, Last year, a lot of yung marami pang gatas na iinumin itong mga may gatas pa sa labi yung Blue Eagles last season. So a lot of young guys, a lot of mistakes were made. So I'm banking on improvement. I'm banking on the new guys coming in, the experienced new guys yung coming in. And if Ateneo makes the Final Four, either 4 or 3, I think you have to give it to Coach Tab because they were last place last season. And from yung Ateneo isa sa mga pinaka all over the place na team based on our power rankings episode. People have them all over the place. We had them all we had them at 6. Some people had them at 5, at 4, at 7. Some people had them as high as 3, diba? Some people had them being a dark horse. They're gonna be a contender. I'm like, well, they are all over the place. So with that yung unpredictability, I think it's a good narrative. It's a good storyline for Coach Tab to exceed expectations. Maybe get them a 3rd seed. Heck, if they make the 2nd seed, highly improbable. Just putting it out there. They get the 2nd seed over a UP yung and Lasal. But if they do, ibigay mo na. Ibigay mo na Coach of the Year kay Coach Tab Baldwin. Call me a homer. I don't care. I think my thinking and my process of thinking is logical.
Mag-stand daw si Gab. Sa Araneta pag ano. Number 2 sila natin.
To add lang to the narrative, I think it's Coach Tab's final year. So he's going to be all out. This year, this could be his swan song, kumbaga, the last season, the last stand of Coach Tab. So I think that's extra motivation for him. Whether it's going to be his final year or it's him trying to prove his worth for that next contract extension. So I think that gives Coach Tab the edge. But I do agree, if you look at the bottom teams that can surprise or make it to the top, maybe that team deserves to be Coach of the Year. Where are you going with Coach of the Year, Maui?
Chris Gavitna. De, joke lang. No, but on
well, actually,
I just remember,
kung number 1 sila or Final 4 sila.
Imagine after the end of the first round last year, everyone was probably saying Coach Jack was the coach of the year. And then everything happened nung second round, which is probably as unpredictable as what happened nung first round. But magandang pick si Coach Tab, I think, because Ateneo was last place. But I really think that last season, it didn't feel like Ateneo was last place nung UAAP season. They could have easily gone to the playoffs, to the play-in tournament, to the play-in game. Ganon kadikit yung race for Final Four last season. And I think that was how, kaya sobrang hype everyone when it came to UE, who ended the first round at 5-2 and still ended I think the season 6-8, diba? But I think that was how close it was yung last season, that I still don't think Ateneo was really that much of a loser. Maybe look at the standings and say that they're last, but it could have gone any other way. And I think them getting to 4 wins and potentially even more last season was impressive, given how they looked like early in the preseason, not being able to beat anyone. So I think Ateneo fans have a lot of reason to hope for, and I think maraming magagalit din. Kasi all over the place nga yung rankings ng Ateneo. I think a lot of people will get mad if they don't make. I think people are expecting them to become dark horses, not even just Final Four team. So that remains to be seen. We'll see it next week. Diba? We haven't seen them the whole preseason. So I think si Coach Tab is an easy choice if we're looking at potential improvement from the standings. Diba? Kasi you can go anywhere. I think Ateneo can go anywhere from 7-3. Number 2, number 1 is probably a dream. But who knows? It happened before, di ba? Ateneo was supposed to be a bottom team but ended up number 2 getting to the finals with the first iteration of Tab Baldwin. Di ba? And but if I were to pick my coach of the year, I'd probably say, ewan ko ba't feel ko Adamson yun. I'll say si Coach Nash Lasela has a fighting chance. And I think he will only deserve to win that if they get past the play-in. And the magic number is 8. I think the magic number again for this year is probably 8 wins. 8 wins will assure you a Final Four slot. And Adamson has been between 6 to 7, I think, the past few seasons. If they can somehow get to 8 wins this year, I think he has the chance to potentially be Coach of the Year. But hopefully no more off-court drama for Coach Nash.
Wala naman last season na.
Wala last year, di ba? To be fair kay Coach Nash.
To be fair. But yeah, number 3, and yeah, give me Coach Nash as Coach of the Year, di ba? Kung maka number 3 man lang. And we had them third on our power rankings. Again, we mentioned this multiple times. They're deeper, they're bigger, they've addressed needs in all positions, and they're still I think they're gonna be the top defensive team again. Offense, that's another question. That's actually what they have to work on. That's because I just saw them score 13 points in one half in Phil Oil, so I'm not
raised to 50 points.
I'm not that positive they can actually improve their offense. But if ever they can, give me Coach Nash as Coach of the Year. Sammy, who's your pick?
So I listed down 3. So you guys mentioned 2 out of the 3. Coach Tab, Coach Nash. The third one, before I go to the third one, I eliminated then 3 guys. And these are like 3 coaches na parang I expect to be in the top 3. That's si Coach Gold, si Coach Topix, and then I eliminated Coach Pido. I'm expecting like those are the 3 favorites to sort of make it to the top 3. You guys talked about Coach Nash, Coach Tab. For me, I think another team that came from the bottom last year that could fight for a top 3 slot is NU. So I'm going with Coach Jeff Napa. The only coach that beat both UP and LaSalle last season. He will finally have, hopefully, he will hopefully have an FSA for the full season.
Our friend.
This year. Omar John, who has been really good, who has been a revelation. We've been critical of him in the past seasons, but this entire preseason, we were praising him. So I think he has more or less an intact lineup. Most of the stars are still there. Most of the main guys are still there. So I think, just like before, I think NU has a chance. As long as they're complete, as long as they're healthy, I think they have a chance. So, count me in for Coach Jeff Napa as a potential Coach of the Year, especially if he makes it to number 3.
Ang comment ko lang kay Coach Jeff, sorry. I can only give him the Coach of the Year if he gets to number 2. Kasi we've seen them contend, di ba, in the past.
Nakita mo nang umabot sa 3.
That's a good point.
I
actually think it's a pretty good point.
Or if they're 3 and 4 and they somehow upset and get to the finals. Kasi I think that's what they need. That's the hump
Yun yung
that they
next
need to
level.
get out of. Next level, yes.
I actually think that yung sabi ko that's a pretty good point. We've seen Coach Jeff Napa bring NU on the cusp of the finals. We've seen them become number 1 for I think season 86 ata yun when they were near the top or at the top of the standings or yung at a certain point. So yeah, it's finals or bust before I can give Coach Jeff Napa any nod to yung actually say this to being Coach of the Year. I think I had him as a coach to the hot seat in one of the seasons actually.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
diba?
Parang
So,
mid-season burning questions natin yun.
or something like that. So I can't give him biglang favorite of coach of the year when I had him almost fired. I think last season. So sorry, Coach Jeff. Still, yung still
Yeah.
love you though.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. So if we were to follow like Maui's logic, I think it makes sense bakit Maui pinili mo din si Coach Nash, 'di ba? Kasi siya yung parang on the cusp talaga. Coach Tab, Coach Jeff sort of made it there to the top as a top seed before. So yeah, I'd give Coach Nash that kung ganon. Moving on, let's talk about something interesting. We call it the newcomer of the year. So do we just do one and dones, Gab, or not necessarily? Pwedeng rookies?
Not necessarily. Oh, you can count a rookie. But I think we've done the rookie of the year. But
Rookie of the year. So,
newcomer essentially we count transferees, maybe from the NCAA. We count one and dones. So I think you already have an idea of who you're gonna pick. Si Maui yung may lumaki na yung mata eh. So
yeah.
yeah, yun. So let's go with Maui first. Mukhang alam mo
Sige.
na pipiliin mo eh. Sino yung newcomer of the year mo?
Hindi mo alam. I mean, hindi ka sure. Actually, ang newcomer of the year ko is si Cool Cup, Jacob Cortez. I think if you watch all of the, kahit yung mga guesting ko, when they say, nag-guest ako kay Navs, nag-guest ako sa Quaver, shout out to them. I've said si Jacob Cortez is a guy that I'm excited for. And with good reason. I've been excited about this guy since I've watched him sa finals sa NCAA. You two are the witnesses, di ba? Yung napanood ko sa finals pa lang, na nagpapagupit ako, sabi ko, Jacob Cortez is legit. But,
Grabe yung fanboy ni Maui nun eh.
so many doubters saying that he will not be good in the UAAP, blah, 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 blah. He's too small. But if the off season is any indication of how he will perform this coming season, I'm excited. Diba? I've said this in the past. Once upon a time when we were kids, when we were in grade school, Lasal and Ateneo hated each other so much, but some of my classmates loved and idolized his dad, the cool cat, Mike Cortez. And I think a lot of people will admire how Jacob Cortez plays. And I'm excited for Jacob Cortez and what's to come. Who would have thought, diba, from, I think, a walk-on sa San Beda, from a nobody in the juniors division. Nobody from the UAAP, I think, wanted him after he played in the UAAP juniors. And now, he's an integral piece in a top team and was probably part of also one of the blue chip recruits and hotly contested recruits, despite me believing that he will only play for the alma mater of his father. I'm excited for Jacob Cortez. He's flashy. He's everything you want in a point guard. Flashy, shoots from the outside, has the clutch gene, athletic, and nagta-trash talk. Everything you want from the point guard slot, I think. He got it. He got the swagger from his dad, the cool cat.
Actually, I'm so tempted to go Ateneo for a fourth straight pick, but I can't say no to Jacob Cortez. Yeah, he's my pick for newcomer of the year. He's not a rookie, but I think from what I've seen in the preseason, man, he's gonna entertain so much. Now, I wanted to pick Kimani Ladi because he's another guy, not a rookie. He's 24 years old. He's one and done. He's been impressive. He's going to be one of the main offensive options for Ateneo. But Jacob Cortez, man, I've loved watching him. I've hated watching him because he waved goodbye to the Ateneo crowd. Diba?
You love to hate this guy.
Oh,
Kung Atenista ka lalo na.
Oh, diba? But ang galing eh. He's just, when I watch him, I'm just so impressed. I do remember the first matchup with UP in Phil Oil, and he ran circles around the UP defense, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. I think he'll have moments of that in this season where he'll just pull off moves that out of nowhere, he'll do a Pinoy step and do a double clutch layup or something, and then he'll probably block us a center shot for one play. I don't know. He's very sneakily athletic. Yeah, but for me, newcomer of the season or slash of the year, definitely the cool cub, Jacob Cortez. I want to give it to Kim Anilai so bad just to be a homer, but I can't. I have to give it to Jacob Cortez. Sammy.
Probably one of the most hype newcomers coming in this season 88. Not just for Lasal fans. Kita nyo naman, like si Maui has been gushing over Jacob Cortez. And I think it makes sense na you guys picked him for newcomer of the year. I think more than like um the scoring, the playmaking, etc. Yung flashiness nga na that Maui said, especially if you're a fan of like the UAAP before, it really brings back memories also of like the cool cat, diba? Like si Mike Cortez, just that name. You love to watch Mike Cortez way back, and I'm excited to see Jacob Cortez play for Lasal this season. Gab, don't worry, I got your back because I'm going with Kimani Ladi on this one. I think
I'm
it's
glad because
also
I think he should be mentioned here. I think he's
yeah,
one
I
of the
think
top
it's also
contenders
a
for this award.
no-brainer.
Nag-over-connect na raw si Gab kasi they were calling us the
Kasi
Ateneo haters.
tsaka puro Ateneo picks na si Gabe. He was my top pick also for the SEA Games lineup. I think Imani Ladi is huge, literally going to be huge for Ateneo. Actually, itong newcomer of the year, I remember when we did our awards, end of season awards before, we also called this like a one and done of the year, something like that. And I remember awarding this to Luis Villegas of the UA Red Warriors.
Ooh.
That sort of reminds me of like Kimani Ladi, like a 6'7", 6'8" guy that can stretch the floor, can rebound, can hit threes, can really impact the team. I think that's why UE was very competitive back then. Last year, if you pick one and done guy, it's obviously QMB. I think if Ateneo is going to make it to the finals, or maybe even make it as a top 3, top 2 team, Kimani Ladi is going to have like a QMB level season. I think he's going to be that important to this team. Kasi, other than si Adili, diba? Sino pa ba yung talagang legit playable big ng Ateneo? Talk about like the other teams then. So I think no comment. No comment na lang, Gab. No comment. So I think Kimani Ladi is a good pick. To be fair though, like another one and done that people are hyped about is Dom Escobar, who's also part of Ateneo. So Ateneo has two guys that could potentially have an impact. But I'm going with Kimani Ladi. Yeah, Gab, anything you wanna add?
Yeah,
before-
Iba na kwento ngayon. Ateneo na ang may one and dones. Lasal lang ang walang one and dones. Let's see if it will produce a different story.
That's true.
But I love what I've seen from Kimani Ladi. And actually, you might not be surprised. He might be up there in the MVP rankings come the end of round 1. He's going to get a ton of minutes. He's going to get both yung big man minutes. He's going to run some center. He's going to run some power forward. A lot of offense runs through him. So, and he has a sweet stroke. I think you're going to be surprised with Kimani Ladi. Next award,
siguro just worth mentioning, another guy that people are excited to see, Ray Mogat. Preseason wise, it hasn't really. Hindi. I mean, transfer to UP, like a new player to the team now. So, but preseason wise, it hasn't really translated for Ray Mogat, or he hasn't been consistent. But I'm sure people will mention Ray Mogat in the comment section if you're talking about transferees. Sige, last award, and then let's do like our final four finals prediction. Scoring champion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to give it. It's gonna be John Abate because someone has to score from UE. It's either gonna be him or Momoe, and I think from the preseason, it's been John Abate. He's been carrying this UE team on offense. Now maybe some of their two and throughs and one and done recruits from the US and from Canada can show something for the UE Red Warriors. But I am banking on John Abate being the only proven scoring option, especially in the backcourt. Maybe you can see Wello Lingo is their shooter, but he's so inconsistent. There are games he just can't get anything.
Hot and
So,
cold.
yung hot and
Parang
cold si
last
Wello,
season lang.
si Muling Tapang is more of a playmaker, more of a traditional point guard who creates plays for others. Does not really look for a shot for majority of the time. So I'm looking at John Abate. I think he's gonna clear 20 points per game easily. Easily clear 20 points per game. It's gonna be a 1-2 punch of him and Momaway trying to carry this UE team. Uh, yeah. I think he can approach 25 points per game. I have confidence in that. Malaki mata mo, Maui. Have you watched this UE team? Have you watched them?
Basta all type of season where
Oo.
when you have a game
Basta
where you score 40 points.
40,
Mga gumanon din.
40 points, yeah.
Oh, I won't be surprised if John Abate at least approaches 25 points per game. I mean, that's how thin their options are in terms of offense. This UE Red Warriors. So, yeah, give me John Abate. I can't see anyone else doing it. Maybe si Nick, yung Caballero, yung given the high-powered offense of the USC Growling Tigers and the run and gun and a lot of offense goes through Nick, but UE talaga. I just really have to say it's John Abate.
Yeah, ako I have three options. The Abate and si Nick. Just because UST plays at a fast pace, di ba? They'll jack up a ton of threes. Nick will probably get a lot of easy baskets in transition. He'll also get a lot of free throws. I think if he improves on his free throw shooting, he could have easily averaged 20 maybe in other seasons. And what more this season when they look like they're gonna play a lot faster. And I think yung third option, which is my pick, is Joric Bautista from the FEU Tamaraws. I think much like Abate, he will have to probably jack up close to 20 attempts a game. And if you have a guy who probably would shoot half of his shots as three-pointers, much like Abate, then I think si Joric Bautista has a big chance to average 15 to 20 a game this coming season. And maybe it would really help him get a pro contract.
Last season nata ni Joric, diba? So,
I think so, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sammy, who's your pick?
Very, very interesting that Gab, you picked John Abate from UE, Maui, you picked Joric from FEU. I wrote anybody from UE or FEU. I think itong dalawang teams na to medyo hirap to score. Not a lot of guys will be able to like take over or score. So a lot of the offense will be carried by like two guys. Bautista and Konate, Abate and Precious Momoway for UE. And I looked at yung Phil Oil scoring leaders in terms of points per game. So, ito yung from the UAAP. Precious Momoway number 1, Wello Lingo number 2, Mo Konate number 3, Joric Bautista number 4, May Ajanti Miller, and then John Abate number 6. The top 5 from the UAAP are either from FEU or UE. That just tells you how much load
That's a
these
great
guys
stat.
are carrying.
That's a great
are,
stat,
are
Sammy.
carrying. I mean, this is just the preseason, so maybe it'll be different in the season. But for these two teams, I think
Yun
yan
nga,
na yun.
Sammy. Pre-season pa lang, heavy minutes na.
Heavy minutes na, heavy points na sila, you know? So yeah, give me someone from FEU or UE. Okay, sige. I think that's it for our awards, award predictions. Let's end it with our final four and then finals prediction. So, who do you think is going to make it to the final four? We've done our early preseason power ranking, pero after seeing a few more games, who will make it to the final four? I think we can all agree, UP Lasal, they're there.
Okay.
1
Sige.
and 2 interchangeable. You can argue that.
Sammy,
Okay.
kami ni Maui yung nauna every other picks of the awards. Ikaw mauna sa Final Four, sa Final Four at Finals prediction mo.
Um, give me UST as my number 3. I think with the addition of Collins Akowe, I think he can also help with the big man hole dun sa UST. Final year na ni Nick Caballero and ni Fortsky. So I think it's sort of their audition to go pro abroad. And my expectation is these two guys want to go pro abroad. With the development of Jello, Crisostomo, the addition of guys like Koji Buenaflor, I think UST, it would be a disappointment. Yun na lang sabihin natin if UST did not make it to number 3. Give me UST. For number 4, I hate to say this. I really do. Pero give me Coach Taben Ateneo as that other team that makes it to the Final Four. Kimani Ladi, all the one and dones. Coach Tab on his final year.
Yeah.
Give me Coach
I'll be consistent. Si Navs and I did an over-under sa last episode niya, and UP Lasal. So Lasal is number 1, UP is number 2, and Ateneo is number 3. But not by a big margin. I pegged them at 8 wins. And then yung number 4 slot is really a coin toss. Whoever wins the playoffs. But I had 3 teams at 7-7, believe it or not. Adamson, UST, and NU. And I think I said, I'm not sure if I said it, but I think I said NU will make it to the Final Four. So, yeah, that's my
So wala
Final
kang
Four.
UST. Okay. So same tayo except wala kang UST. You had NU. Gab.
So obviously Lasal, UP, 1 or 2, pick whoever yung toss a coin. Sila yun. I have Ateneo at 3. I don't know. Ever since
Same
we did
kayo ni
the power
Maui. So Ateneo at 3.
Ever since we did our power rankings, I've been hearing so many good things out of the Ateneo camp, and I don't know. Maybe this is the Homer episode that picked so many Ateneans for awards. I'm picking
Oo
Ateneo
nga,
at 3. I don't know.
Bumabawi ka sa mga Ateneo listeners natin.
I'm banking on development from the young guys. I think the experienced one and dones will do wonders. I think they're in the rotation based on the games that we've watched recently. I think Divine Adili is gonna surprise a ton of people. I picked him as Rookie of the Year. I do think he's very skilled on the offensive end. And they're deeper. They're just really deep. They can play a ton of different ways. They can play small, quote unquote, with Kimani Ladi at center. He's 6'8", you know. Si Escobar is like a tank. So they now have 3-point guards who they can play with Jaden Lazo there. They still have Kyle Gamber, LeBron Nieto's coming back from injury. I don't know if he's gonna play, but he's been playing. So they have a promising young big in Lars Fielvang. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the up and up on that. I had them at
It's
6
a
in the
deep
power
team.
ranking.
This is a deep team.
They are a deep team. They are a really deep team, and they've addressed their needs. Much like the argument I had with Adamson, Ateneo has addressed their needs in the off-season. So I think give me Ateneo at 3, and I have Adamson at 4. Yeah.
Grab yung
hype. But I have Adamson
Ateneo.
at 4.
The Adamson Whisperer.
Yeah, and what's consistent between Ateneo and Adamson, both are good defensive teams. If you look at Ateneo's numbers last season, they were one of the top defensive teams despite having no center. Diba? And Adamson, I think for the past 2 seasons, has been one of the top defensive teams. I don't think that's going to change. So I'm buying defense. I don't have UST there. I just can't support a team that does not play defense. I just can't. I mean, you give up 90 points to NU. That tells you all you need to know. UST has to shore up their defense. That's all I have to say. I can't buy into a team that runs like the Phoenix Suns of the Mike D'Antoni days. It's just run, shoot threes, but play no defense and allow teams
Phoenix
to score.
with Shaq. Phoenix with
Phoenix
Shaq.
with Shaq,
Sakto!
exactly.
Sakto ba?
Oo, di ba? With yung with Collins ako over there. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe in UST. Coach Pido, the most astute playmaker. You know, I think a lot of the UST faithful will agree with me. So, bring me that. Bring me the birds at 3 and 4. So, I don't know. People have talked me into Ateneo, and I think I'm buying the dark horse argument for the Blue
Okay.
Eagles.
Okay. Next question. Let's see kung tuloy pa rin tong Ateneo streak mo. Who do you think is going to make it to the finals and who's going to win the championship?
Okay, I may be a homer, but I'm not stupid. So,
Akala ko sasabihin mo
no,
eh.
I'm sorry. I think to pick any other team outside of UP or LaSalle to be in the finals, it's kind of dumb. So I'm not gonna do it. I think it's UP and LaSalle in the finals, and who I'm picking, I've said it before. I think it's the UP Fighting Maroons. I think they have the better defense. They have a deep team. I think we'll see the old Noy Remogat eventually come. I hope he comes. I mean, I really love watching this guy play, but we haven't seen him. But I think we'll see Noy Remogat take the big shots and have a big season. Maybe towards the end of the first round and into the second round. So give me the UP getting a back-to-back over the De La Salle Green Archers.
Yan na,
Tell me.
sinagot na. Back to back ang UP.
Maui.
Actually, yun nga, sa episode namin in Labs, I said UP and LaSalle. And I actually can't remember if I said LaSalle or UP. Between them will win the championship. To be honest, sa sobrang homer ng picks this episode, I don't know if this my inner prophet saying that maybe there's an upset. But Gabby's, I'd be crazy to say. I'd be crazy. I'd be crazy to say, di ba, na I'm wearing blue, but I'd be crazy to say it right now. Maybe we can revisit this after the first round. Let me see them first. But
Alright.
I just have this feeling. I have this feeling after hearing everything and just looking at the pre-seasons of UP and LaSalle that it's possible, not like previous seasons. I just believe nung previous seasons, talagang imposible mo ma-upset
Imposible.
ang Ateneo. Tuma na, sabi ko pa, UP and LaSalle. I think this season, they're more vulnerable. I think this season, they probably rack up 10 wins. 10 wins instead of the 12 to 13 for those teams. I think that they lose more games to the other schools, not just to each other. But masyadong crazy. Masyadong crazy to say that it won't be UP and LaSalle. And I'd say that maybe I'm leaning towards LaSalle. Maybe I have that bias with Jacob Cortez and Mason Amos and Pablo and Baclaan. I think those four have so much firepower, and I think LaSalle will be able to address their issues on the defensive end. And it will all boil down on how Jacob and Kian really balances yung facilitating and scoring. If they can keep all the mouths happy, I think LaSalle is pretty hard to beat. I think UP just was able to upset them nung Phil-Oil finals, but who knows, di ba? It's really a coin flip.
Phil-Oil semis.
Phil-Oil semis. Tama, naisip ko finals. Phil-Oil semis. But it's LaSalle for me. But this is something I want to revisit maybe mid-season. Let's see.
Kala ko you'll
Hala ko rin eh.
prophet
Ready na ako
mode eh.
Oo nga eh. Remember Gab, nung season
Di ba?
85.
85.
Maui's
After
the
na wala
only
si
one-
Belangel.
Maui's the only one who picked Ateneo that time. I'll go with Gab. I think it's either one of those two. It's crazy to say any other team right now, as to Maui's point. I'll go with Gab because of the defense. Gab sold me on the defense. Pero hirap din kalabanin nung lineup na sinabi ni Maui, no? Like imagine like Mike, Mason, Baklaan, Jacob Cortez. It's going to be tough, but I'd go with the defense of UP and yung familiarity of that team. Si Coach Bo, tinatawag ng Maroon 5 yung group of guys na yon. They've been together for so long with Coach Gold, so I think that's going to be a factor then for this UP team. So back to back for me. Okay, that's it for today's episode. We went over 1 hour with all our predictions. Please share down below, comment down below your predictions for Season 88 awards and your Final Four, finals, and eventual champion for Season 88. About roughly a week to go before we start the UAAP. So we're excited to watch and cover the UAP. And we hope you continue to follow us, subscribe to the channel, and listen to every episode of it. We'll be here for the entire season. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.